Hello everyone. So this is the first video for the book club that we put back together and regarding the book Balance. So hopefully you guys have all had a chance to get the book, glance through the book. So it's been, a couple weeks since I said we start, and I know everybody's been really busy, but I hope you had a chance to get the books and at least start it. So what I want to do was go over what I've kind of gathered as the most important parts of this book to me so far. So there's 3 parts to this book. So I've kind of read up to the first part, and I want to just kind of go over that with you. So hopefully, like I said, you guys have had a chance to go through it. If not, kind of go through it with me, and then maybe hop on and you can do a video or put in the comments, what you thought and what you've got from it so far. And then at the end of the book, what I like to do is set up a Zoom call and just chat about it. So first of all, in the foreword, like I said, I've taken the time to make notes of what I thought was the most important to me and what struck me the most. So, basically, the whole point of the book is that we can live an unapologetically free, firm, awakened, and powerful life. And so in writing this book, he said that he feels it's a key to unlocking the greatest gift we can give ourselves and the world that we serve, which is the most balanced version of you. So that's how, he got into it. His introduction is saying, next to love, balance is the most important thing. Now, I know a lot of people think that, balance means that, everything is balanced and equal and you can do everything, your life, your love, your kids, your work. And so I think what's important to understand is that balance doesn't mean everything is equal and that you're happy in every aspect. Balance means that there's a part of you that is okay with whatever is going on in life and you're continuing to push it. So it's about knowing and becoming all of yourself and then giving your whole abundant self to everything and everyone that your life is assigned to. And so balance will teach you how to align with the highest version of yourself. So I loved the way he put that because I think, like I said, a lot of us have a really weird view of what balance is. So he says also that the journey to balance is the beginning of balance. And I believe that because we're learning what balance is. So part 1 of the book is where he's talking about redefining balance. And that's, again, because we think of balance when we one way. And so what we have to understand is that balance is not a discipline, an activity, or exercise. Balance is a place. It's a place that you're at and that you're okay. It's not a physical place. It's even actually, I don't want to get too spiritual, but it's a spiritual place within a spiritual dimension because it's all about where your mind is and where your head is. And that's balance. Finding and remaining in balance is important because if you're not, then you're disoriented, distracted, it makes you fearful, and it makes you procrastinate. And at the end of the day, it'll bankrupt your potential because you won't do what you have the potential to do because you're so off. So anyway, I think this book will challenge you to have a little faith. So I think, first of all, you have to open your minds, and because the balance is going to come from the deepest part of us, so we have to open our minds and be okay to that. Okay, so, and he talks about balance, and then he also talks about the soul. Okay, and I really like that because now we're talking about your mind, where you are in your mind, but also where you are in your soul, and your soul is the deepest part of all of you. So there's nothing more, I think, important, and I agree with him, than discovering your soul and knowing it intimately. So soul awareness, which is different from self-awareness, soul awareness is critical in finding your balance. So self-awareness is described as how clearly we see ourselves. That's self-awareness. How we see our values, our passions, our aspirations, our thoughts, feelings, behavior. It's how we see ourselves. Soul awareness, it fosters an environment that reveals and gives expression to not just your best qualities. It's the most honest part of you. The soul aware. It's the authentic version of you. And so it's the enlightened person that brings It's almost like your soul is after something. You know what I'm saying? Like self-awareness is I see who I am right now. Soul awareness is digging in to see who I want to be and what I want to be and getting there and how to get there. It's almost like realizing what type of person you are, the character of you. Because when I see, the self-awareness is not seeing my character. It's just seeing who I am, what I do, my passions. But the soul awareness really talks about where you are. So basically, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about, seeking balance. And then there's a quote in here from Albert Einstein in chapter 2, and it says, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you have to keep moving. And isn't that so true? Because if you kind of feel a little off, and I know everybody's felt this way, and you kind of stop moving, you're going to still be off. You have to keep moving. You have to keep pushing. You got to keep it out there, or else you're going to be off. So sometimes, and people, let's see, how can I put this? First of all, if you want to get to balance, you have to learn to never feel guilty about what it takes for you to get there. And so sometimes it's about taking time for ourselves. And so when we talk about this me time, you have to embrace me time as a blessing. If you want to be in the best position, and I tell people, but I said it in a different way. I said different than he said. He says, if you want to be in the best position to render aid to those you love, then you have to get what you need first, so you can bring your A game to the situation in order to save the ones you care about. What I said is, if you messed up, you can't help nobody else. You can't help nobody else if you a whole mess. So that's how I said, but he said the same thing. And so basically, when you prioritize yourself and then yourself finds balance, everything around us flourish, because that's the best of you. And so you can give it to other people. And so I know, a lot of people feel like, being regarded as selfless is noble and commendable on the surface. At the end of the day, like I said, you're going to be so irritated and so unhappy that you're going to implode at some point, and you cannot give the best of you to anybody if you're not taking care of yourself. A lifestyle of putting others before yourself not only can leave you extremely dissatisfied, but it's often symptomatic of low self-worth. If you don't love yourself first, you will lose yourself. You have no self-worth. You think the more I do for other people, then I seem like I'm a better person. And that's not necessarily the case. So, balance sometimes requires solitude, not just, alone time, but peaceful, uninterrupted, unplugged time. And so that could just mean a few minutes every day, 30 minutes at the end of the day where you're not answering your phone. My phone goes on do not disturb at 9. Because you have to unplug, whether you have a job or not. It doesn't really matter. You got a job, you got a kid, you got to unplug, and you got to kind of just be good with you. Because self-fullness, not selfishness, self-fullness, being full of just you, it requires solitude. And so you have to figure out how you're going to get that. Sometimes, we tend to believe that everything is meant to be shared with others. But sometimes those special moments are just supposed to be about you. Sometimes you just need to go have lunch with yourself. Go have coffee with yourself. Watch a movie by yourself. So don't always feel like, oh, I'm being selfish if I'm not giving, to others. Some people are like, they're afraid to be alone. And being alone is not being lonely. So remember that. Let's see, he also talks about, the power of solo, and I think we kind of talked about that, but just remember, again, the best you is the balanced you, and self-prioritization is a critical step. Okay, it's critical. Do you put you first so that you're in a really good position to help other people. If you're not realizing your dreams, you can't help anybody else realize their dream. You cannot. So, because the most important person you have counting on you is you. So put your soul needs first in order to serve, love, and give to those around you. Okay? So I love how he, talks about your soul and putting yourself first. So let's see. So then he talks about balance, how important meditation is. And I know meditation, people are like, oh, meditate with. And that's not even necessarily it. It's about guarding your thoughts and giving yourself some quiet time. So, do that. Let's see. And what else was in the book that I really, really liked? So this was really important. Talks about, like what the soul craves. So whatever we're doing, and this is, I find this in work, you have to be intentional. So in this whole finding balance thing, you have to be intentional, but you also have to set up some accountability. And sometimes people don't like accountability partners because they're like, oh, I don't want somebody telling me what to do or criticizing what I'm not doing, but an accountability, that's not what an accountability partner is. An accountability partner is an encourager. They are convinced concerning who you are. Like an accountability person is someone who sees you even when you don't see you, and they are convinced in what they see in you, and they are going to help you realize that they are there for you, and they always speak up to you and never down. They speak up to you. So if, let's say you have somebody that like says you're kind of tripping, that's not speaking down to you. That's speaking up to your senses. You're kind of tripping. You could do better. You're not even trying. And I know some people see that as, criticizing, but it's not. That's them calling you by your real name, okay? And they won't let you settle into an identity that's less than who you are. So these people, these encouragers, should be the first people you want to call and share great news. And they should be the one that you trust so much in your relationship that they're also the first ones that you call when your world seems to be falling apart, even if it's by your own hands, even if you're the one that's messing it all up. You should feel good calling them on both times, the best news and when you're feeling the worst. And I know it's not easy to find, but find someone like that and start slow if you need to. But we all need an accountability partner / encourager. It makes a world difference to have somebody cheer you on your journey. And like he says in here, like a good dietitian or nutritionist, they remind you what you really need for your soul satisfaction. They'll be there for you in your moments of victory. And then when you get free from the barriers that have kept you from partnering with your soul, they'll help you celebrate that. I love when he talked about an accountability partner and what it really is. And so he ends this chapter talking about, let's see, how we find balance and how what we have to do, that we have to simply cast our net. You have to know what you want and not be so worried about not getting it, because that's coming from a place of, not abundance, but a place of lack. It's coming from a place of lack. But when you're just doing things knowing that abundance is out there, you're going to get it. Because the thing that messes us up is fear. Fear puts just a damper on everything. If you're fearful about achieving something or that I'm never going to get it, then you're absolutely right. You're never going to get it because you're scared to get it. But if you're out there and you're like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. You'll do it. Don't let fear become your master. Because fear will manipulate you and it will control you. So, even if you, out of fear, even if you achieve success, you can't even enjoy it. Because now you're just so scared that, number one, it's going to be taken away, it's going to fade away, and then it's not enough, it's still not enough. It's not going to last, it's going to run out. You don't even have time to take in that moment. And here's something that, full transparency, I read this, I said, oh Lord, that's me. It's the threat of what might happen that leaves you afraid of what if and prevents you from enjoying the blessings of what is. That's me right now. The fear of what if this, what if that. And so to the point that it's really kind of hard to enjoy the blessing of what is. So that's something that I think in this book, we're going to learn. And the fear is that we're going to lose something. But here's the thing. Losses, if they're processed correctly, are the greatest forerunners of success. You can't experience a loss without the opportunity to learn a lesson. So any loss that you have, it's an opportunity. And so instead of having that lack and the fear mentality, what we want to work on is that abundance mentality, because the abundance mentality is optimistic, it's joyful, and it's always full of faith. It believes that if something is for you, it is for you. And that's something I always tell my clients in real estate. When we're looking for houses, I always say, you know what, if it's for you, it's for you. And if it slips away, but it's for you, it's going to come back around. Okay, it's going to come back around. And let me tell you something else. The abundance mentality delivers us from jealousy also. Because you know how, because I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to lie. You know, we all did it. I've been there. How somebody else achieved something and you're a little bit jealous. You're jealous because you think they got it and I don't. Instead of you realizing that, oh man, they got it. I mean, it can be got. What do I have to do to get mine? See, so that's what fear does. So, you know, all this it's a matter of learning to live in the posture of receiving, not in fear or jealousy or, you know, lack. So, you know, one of the things he says in this last part of part 1, he says, remember, your best never comes from the place of rush. It comes from the place of rest. So if you're rushing trying to get something done and you think, oh, I got it over here, I got to get it, that's not your best. You're not going to get your best. Relax. Find out seek your soul, the best of your soul, get balance, put you first. And so that's where the best is going to come. So again, that is the first part of this book. And I love it so far, you guys. I mean, that could have been the whole darn book, okay? But this part is just talking about redefining balance. And so the next part is going to be about restoring balance. So I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to hop back on and do another YouTube video in a week. So I know it's Tuesday. I tried to, my goal was for Monday. But I'm going to try and do this next part for Monday because I want to be done with this book before the end of, or by the end of the month. So I hope you guys enjoyed, my take from the first part of balance. And I hope you guys will get on here. And if you have a YouTube station or you just want to make a video and post it on, the Facebook book club group, you can do that. However, you can make comments on here. Please join. I know it seemed like it was kind of long, but it's 17 minutes. It's, it's a book club. It's less than if we were all sitting and talking, right? So hop on here. Let's do this, guys, and let's learn something from this book. I am so excited. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.